Did you know that there were up to 5 sequels planned for the 2017 Power Rangers movie? Unfortunately, that franchise stopped at 1, and the continued fate of the Cinematic Rangers has faded away into nothing more than another of the legends of Fandom. Greetings, fanboys and fangirls. I'm ERod, and I'm the Blockbuster Buster, and welcome to Legends of Fandom, where we talk about the fanboy films and shows that almost happened. Today, our story begins, strangely enough, with SpiderMan. As I've established before in past videos, after Marvel hit it big in the 60s, the way that they secured their longevity was by licensing their characters for merchandise and adaptations. And one of the most unique of these licensing deals was with the Japanese production company, Toei. One that would allow Toei to produce TV shows using the Marvel characters and Marvel to produce comics using the Toei characters. However, the most memorable result from this collaboration was the 1978 live-action SpiderMan series. Now, while this show may feature a character named Spider-Man with spider powers and a costume similar to the one worn by the beloved Marvel superhero, that is where the similarities end. Toei's Spider-Man followed the adventures of Takuya Yamashiro, a young motorcycle racer who discovers he is the last survivor of the planet Spidar. And now the alien despot who destroyed his people, Professor Monster, is targeting Earth. So Takuya must use his newly discovered spider powers and his giant robo-mech to battle Professor Monster's forces and protect the Earth. And if that sounds awesome, that's because it is, as this show has developed a strong cult following throughout the years, but its contributions to pop culture actually run deeper, as the Toei Spider-Man influenced an entire genre of television called Super Sentai. While Toei did produce Super Sentai shows before Spider-Man, it was their success with the webhead that inspired them to integrate a lot of the elements from Spider-Man that worked to their other Super Sentai shows, henceforth creating a lot of the signature tropes that are now permanently associated with the genre, which are live-action sci-fi adventure shows featuring young heroes who transform into spandex and helmet-clad superheroes to fight monsters using martial arts and giant robots. Many American production companies, including Marvel, tried to bring dubbed versions of Super Sentai shows to the United States with little success. But it was businessman/producer Hayao Saban who had the brilliant idea of keeping the action sequences with the costumed heroes from the Super Sentai shows, but shooting new footage with American actors for the sections when the characters were not in costume. And thus, Mighty Morphing Power Rangers was born. Unfortunately, Saban would end up shopping around his idea for an Americanized Super Sentai show for 5 years, until Margaret Loesch became the president of Fox Kids and expressed interest in greenlighting the show. You see, Loesch used to work for Marvel and witnessed the success of the Toei Spider-Man firsthand, as well as Marvel's attempts of bringing Super Sentai to the United States. So she knew that there was potential in Saban's idea. Unfortunately, the head of the Fox network didn't agree and was very reluctant to order the pilot. But Margaret Loesch was so sure that Power Rangers would succeed that she staked her career on it, meaning that if Power Rangers had failed, she would have been fired. Spoiler alert, she wasn't. Power Rangers would go on to be one of the biggest hits on American television, one that is still going strong to this very day, and at one point was beating the crap out of both Ninja Turtles and Star Wars in merchandise sales. Unfortunately, one area where Power Rangers just doesn't seem to thrive is on the big screen, as none of the Power Rangers movies have fared well at the box office thus far, with the third one being the most surprising, as Saban, Viacom, and Hasbro put their considerable resources behind it, presenting it as a big blockbuster movie, and somehow it still failed. But before that failure came to be, an entire film franchise was planned around it, one that had the entire cast set to return, and is said to have included up to 5 sequels, with a little bit of pre-visualization material developed for the second installment before the plug was officially pulled. And now for the question that all of you have been waiting for. What would a sequel to the 2017 Power Rangers movie be like? As the mid-credit scene implies, Power Rangers 2 would have introduced Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, one of the most beloved characters in the franchise, played by the late great Jason David Frank, who even had a cameo in the movie. But according to director Dean Israelite and the cast of the movie, they wanted to make a very drastic change to the character for the sequel, which is that in part 2, Tommy would have been a girl, as it would even out the cast with 3 girls and 3 boys. Dacre Montgomery, who played Jason, even said, "It's inevitably going to create drama. It'll be interesting to drop that drama into it and see how we all relate to it and work with it." Now please keep in mind, this change was never official, it's just something that the director and the cast wanted. With that said, I think that this change would have been a huge mistake, as Tommy is the most iconic character in the franchise, the one that even non-fans are familiar with. And by changing the character that everyone is most familiar with, you risk alienating your audience. It would be the equivalent of making a Teen Titans movie and changing Robin's gender. With that said, if they would have been bold enough to make this change, I think Amber Midhunter would have made a badass Green Ranger. According to Israelite, the villain for part 2 would most definitely have been Lord Zed, who would have had a Thanos-like presence, making him more dangerous than Rita and therefore raising the stakes. Lord Zed is one of those characters that's just effortlessly badass. Throw in somebody like Javier Bardem into the role and you would have had one of the greatest cinematic villains of all time. As far as the plot of the movie is concerned, sadly the creators didn't get that far in development to create one. Dacre Montgomery says that there were talks about Jason reaching some kind of closure with the strained relationship with Jason's father, but that was just talk. However, we do have a good indicator for what a continuation to Power Rangers 2017 could have been like thanks to the comics. In the comic book series Power Rangers Aftershock by Ryan Parrott, Kyle Higgins, Lucas Wernick, and Henry Prasatilla, we find the newly minted Power Rangers just 1 week after the incident with Rita and Goldar, still hunting the remnants of Rita's Putty Patrol, when 2 of the surviving putties possess 2 teens from Angel Grove, Jacob and Audrey, so the Rangers must find a way to destroy the monsters without harming the teens. While this story lacks the scope of a movie, it is still a worthy follow-up and could have at least made a good cold opening for Power Rangers 2. As far as the alleged 4 sequels that would have followed Power Rangers 2, sources say that while some of these movies would have continued the adventures of the Cinematic Rangers, others would have established the other teams of Power Rangers, like Zeo, Turbo, Space, and so on and so on. However, as far as what the plots of these movies would have been like, that information is yet to be released to the public. The question is, with so many potential great story ideas and so many fan favorite characters potentially appearing, why didn't Power Rangers 2 happen? Well, the easy answer is because Power Rangers 2017 bombed. But that is just a small part of the answer. The real question is, why did it bomb? Some blame the movie's mixed reviews, while others claim that the movie focused a little too much on the Rangers' civilian identities, and others say that it just didn't have enough action. But the fact of the matter is that this movie's failure had absolutely nothing to do with the movie's actual content, and more to do with the Power Rangers brand itself. You see, the film franchise was sabotaged by the TV franchise. Keep in mind, Power Rangers was not an old show that came and went, and then a few decades later, we finally got a movie. No, Power Rangers is a successful show that continued and was still on when the movie came out, and is still on right now. That, combined with the fact that the movie is a reboot of the franchise that fans are still enjoying and have never demanded a reboot for, was a clear sign that the fan base was divided. After all, why go to the movie theater and see the Power Rangers story retold when you can just stay home and watch Power Rangers Ninja Steel and see the next part of the story? It's kind of a no-brainer. In spite of all this, Power Rangers 2017 still did well during its home release and in merchandise sales. Hence the reason why rumors of Power Rangers 2 persisted for over a year after the release of the first movie. But you know what performed better than Power Rangers 2017 in all aspects? The TV series. Henceforth, it was no surprise where Saban, Viacom, and Hasbro should concentrate their efforts to make the maximum profit. And so, midway through 2018, Power Rangers 2 was officially canceled, and all resources were then focused on the promotion and success of the next installment of the series, Power Rangers Beast Morphers. But what do you think? Would you have liked to have seen the film franchise continue, or are you happy with Power Rangers just being an ongoing TV series? Feel free to let me know in the comments section below, as we have once again reached the end of this video. So, do you know of any fanboy films or shows that almost happened? Feel free to let me know at ERod@inbox.com. And who knows, your suggestion might end up being the topic of the next Legends of Fandom. Until then, I'm ERod, and I'm the Blockbuster Buster.